All right. Let's see. All right. Find something. Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Yeah, very nice to have you finally come here. Did you get a chance to look at the code that I sent?
I did.
Perfect. Yeah. How does it look? I know it's a lot of things. So
No, it's fine. I pretty much did. I'll tell you which ones I put into my
okay.
Dr. Java program. I did. Let me find
Did
it.
you want to show like we can do this like one or two ways because typically I if it's new I can do the code, but I sent you the code, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you can share your screen and I'll just guide you if there's questions.
Yeah, that's perfect. Let me share my screen right now if you want, so I can show you what.
Okay.
Um, yeah, this desktop. Sure. Okay. Sure. Okay. So I have like a bunch of things open. Okay. So I did these
Okay.
two, number two, and or like the second one's the circle problem and the temperature problem.
Yeah.
I ended up having two um two errors, I think, on both.
Okay. Which
Um
one? For
okay, so
for Mac, you guys you know how to run this one, right? For Mac, it's a little bit different, but because I usually work with PC,
yeah.
but you were able to run it on the just a regular
Yeah,
terminal.
so this one had four errors.
Okay.
Um this was the circle wait. No. Did I just run a different one? I think I just ran this one. This one. Oh wait.
Okay.
This one. This one. Yeah, this is four errors.
For the circle problem. Okay, let's look at this one.
Yeah, for this one.
So the way, oh, did you? I think you have to. Did you? Is this directly from Minds or did you?
No, I wrote it in.
Okay, perfect. Let me just try to compare it to what I have.
Mm-hmm.
Because because the way you do this one, I think you have to like import something first. This is the circle problem, right? Circle.
Mm-hmm.
Open the notepad. You know, a lot of times like, there's so many of these like Dr. Java. Does your professor like doing Dr. Java? Or
Yes.
because like the one I usually my go-to for these
Mhm.
ones is if you heard of it, IntelliJ,
Yes.
or yeah, that one is really good. I think
Okay.
if you're gonna use this like for a future thing, yeah, definitely IntelliJ is the one that because there's just so much versatility.
Mhm.
Uh, but okay, let's take a look at this one. So when I'm doing if you take a look at like how I'm outputting it, like
Mhm.
it has the df. I was formatting the output.
Okay.
So let's try type in like import modules before your public class.
Right here.
Yeah. Does the Mac version of this guy, do you know how to pop out the number lines?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll work with it. It's easier for us to like say, oh, which one is the one being.
Right.
At least it tells you in the bottom, line 5
Yeah.
and 10. Okay. And then so import. So what you want to do, that's it's actually import java.text.
Okay.
So let's see. So import
Import Java.
dot text dot capital for decimal and then capital F format, and that's one word.
Like
And then I
this.
think yeah, there's a dot there, yeah, and then I think there's a space after import.
In here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for these ones, you always want to like for Java, like maybe for other like C++, I think you still have to, but you always have to suppress it with a semicolon, like every line.
Okay. Um, yeah, there was something that was going on with, I'll show you after, with the temperature problem, I think it was. There was
Okay.
only one error, and it was like, it said like semicolon, like something, I don't know what it said, but it was like in like quotations.
Okay.
It was like semicolon, and I was like trying to figure it out for like an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah. No worries. Coding is definitely one of those things that either like the very first time you get it, but it's the hardest part about coding, especially like this. You guys are exposed to it for the first time, and you're using like Java. For me,
Mhm.
like I think that's pretty brutal. Like I would definitely start with like Python.
Yeah.
But anyways, like the reason why is like a lot of them there's so much technicalities, like especially when you're
Mhm.
debugging something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you just really like a lot of that stuff. I think, especially like even if it doesn't say code, uh,
Mhm.
like just for practice because it's just gonna get harder. Just code everything and check. Okay, let's try
Yeah.
running this one.
Okay. 2 errors found now.
Where does this say? Line 6.
Mhm.
Try to put a space between public and import, public class and then the import line. Or and don't I think try not to don't indent the import line up top like
Okay.
yeah, let's see if that works,
Like
and then
that?
put a space in
Okay.
between those two.
Okay. Like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Line 7. 1 2 3 4 5 public class circle. Oh, I see what's happening now. So you name every time in when you're creating Java programs. I know it's a
Mhm.
little stupid, but like there's so much like this is one of those technicalities. You know when it says public class
Yes.
circle calc,
Mhm.
that name, the class name after class, circle calc, has to match your file name, which is circle problem.
Oh.
Yeah, it tells you right, a class circle calc is public, should be declared in the file name circle calc.
So like
But
this?
it's either one. Either you change the file name or it has to match. That's the thing. You just have to match it.
Do I have to put .java with it or just that?
Just that, yeah. You never,
Okay.
.java is just an extension. It's just the
Okay,
name.
got it. Okay, now there's just one
Oh, so
error.
yeah, this one highlights it. That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the IntelliJ just tells you the line. Okay, so let's look at this. Cannot find symbol. Okay. Okay, so for this one, let's take a look at what it's saying. Like there's a variable circ underscore diam. Okay. For some reason, every time like it's a good thing it prompts you to do this, but like
Mhm.
one way to debug this is like, okay, where is this circ diam like called out? Is it called out anywhere else? and then that's how you track it.
Right.
Let's see if it, and for the most part, it's just like a spelling thing.
Yeah. Wait.
Okay, I think I see it.
Yeah.
So like in Java, you know how like each it's like one of those things. It's really like each letter, even if it's like a capital, is different from a lowercase. Yeah, I know. In
That's
Python,
convenient.
yeah, in Python, it's not like that. But so let's see. So you know how? So I guess before I let you guys start just debugging, like the way I kind of like set up my code is I always declare the inputs, right? And this is
Yeah.
good as well as like once you set it up and you have this kind of like framework flow chart in your mind, then you know where the errors are in a sense. Like you can anticipate.
Yeah.
Because like what this line being highlighted right now, it's just an output. It's just a print line, right?
Right.
So for the most part, the error is always there because once it tracks, like, okay, let me print this. Let me see what the variable that I'm trying to print. But that variable is used somewhere else, like it's an input, right? Or a calculation.
Yeah.
So you could check the input if there's something like different there. That's like my first bet. But this circ diam is not in there, I think.
No.
So the next thing would be, okay, in my mind, like, let me check the calculations. Let's look at the calculations then. I'm gonna have you look for it. It's like an exercise.
Yeah, I'm looking. Oh, here.
Yeah. That's the,
Oh, it's a capital.
yeah, it's one of those things. Eventually you're like, okay, like it's like automatic. But
Yeah.
I think I think is it good? Yeah, it's good. Okay.
Yeah, it worked. Let me put this new one into here. That was temperature. And yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, there.
Okay. You guys have to turn it in a Google Doc.
Yeah, well, we do Google Classroom, but so he wants us to put it in a Google Doc and then like send it in through Google Classroom.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. And then I was looking at, let me find it. I think it was this problem. Was it? Maybe.
Okay.
No, I was wrong.
He gives you guys a lot of problems. It's good practice, but it is pretty brutal for a weekly thing.
And then it's and then he's like, and then he'll like make you talk about it in class, and I'm like,
oh, you have to talk about it in class?
Yeah, like he'll call you out.
Oh, that's pretty brutal. I mean, I guess
and I'm like, and then if you don't know what you're doing, he's like, oh, it's okay, we'll do it together. And then you have to like do it.
But still, though, it's like one of those things, and he always does that. You say?
Yes, always, always.
I think that's
There's
training.
never a dull moment.
Well, that's you always have. Do you have it every day?
I have it every other day.
Okay. Well, I'll do my best. Like that's the thing. Here's another step back. Like when you code, like it's always good to talk about like the why and then the steps. And,
right.
Because then, like for the most part, the generality of it is the same. Like if you take a look at, let's say I always comment. That's the other thing. Always document like what you're doing. Because then, like when you're giving it to someone, you're the coder, but then a user can like not figure out what happened, or a debugger. So, but then for you as well, like if you're trying to like explain it, easier. Like you could just take a look at say the comments, and then that's what you can say. That's usually what I do. I put because like you're never gonna say, okay, I did scanner in equal. You're not. That's like robotic,
Yeah, exactly. He was like, one of the kids was doing that, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, like, that's not how you explain it. You have to explain like the flow.
I was like, okay. Okay, so for number 15, I was like completely confused on this one.
Okay, let me take a. Is that okay? That you have it open? Okay, let me see.
Yeah,
so what is this one asking?
I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, this one's a little bit advanced. If you guys haven't covered scanners, if I remember. Okay. The right expression. Okay, first of all, like it's kind of like a mathematical thing.
Uh-huh.
Do you understand what it's asking mathematically?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's good. And then like that's usually how I attack it. Like if there's numbers in it, I would like write it down. Like you have this integer n, and
Right.
then he gives you an input like 123, and then the output is like the calculation has to give you it has to switch the tens and the ones, I think, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is here, like, what if it's that's why you have to check a few things.
Because
So
I got like confused. Like, can you see my cursor?
yeah.
I got confused right here.
Okay, that's where we usually do the swap. So what I did there for new tens, because the x is the old integer, right? That's what you're
Yeah.
getting, and then the y is the when it's swapped. So the new tens and new ones, what's happening there is it's for the new tens, it's taking your old integer,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you divide it by like 10, there shouldn't be a remainder. Like when you divide it by 10.
Yeah.
And that modulo, that percent sign is a modulo.
Okay.
So if you don't have a remainder,
Mm-hmm.
what ends up happening it's 0 and it times it by 10, and then so that's just kind of like if you actually follow like try like for your own like good, like try like put in a value like on paper and try to compute what the new 10 and new 1 is. And then, if you put in like 12 and you divide it by 10, I think you have a remainder 2, right?
Yeah.
And then 2 times 10 is 20. And then when you do the 1, it's really like just finding that formula. Like it could be any mathematical set of rules as long
Okay.
as like it gives you, and this is one thing that one of those things that can work.
So does he not want us to put in a specific integer, like positive integer, or does he just want us to find like the
You
general,
can
like,
you can do that if you want.
okay.
I guess like I said, the way I did it is more general. I usually like doing
Right.
it. What you could do is just take out the scanner and put in an integer.
Okay.
And I think for this one, like just to explain what the scanner does, that's gonna be something where it asks you for like an input.
Okay.
This is just a syntax. Like you'll have to import scanner, and then this line right here, it says scanner in equals new scanner.
Yeah.
Has he talked about? I know it's like you really have to have like has he talked about object oriented stuff yet? Like oriented programming?
I feel like he's touched on that, but he hasn't gone in depth. The thing is like when he explains things, he
Yeah.
goes kind of like one of our classes will just be like a whole why am I blanking on the word right now? A lecture
Yeah.
on the chapter.
Yeah.
And then the next day he'll pretty much just
Like assume that you
torture
got
us
it. Yeah.
and put us on the spot asking us questions.
Oh wow, that's kind of like the quiz. He likes doing that. Like he put calling you guys up.
He loves it. We had a quiz, I think the first week of school, and I was like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
But I think I got
wow.
like a 90 something on it just because it was vocab, and I'm good when it comes to vocab
That's
and
good.
stuff like that.
Yeah, that's good.
But now we have a test like on October, like next week, like not this week.
Yeah.
But he like won't even tell us what it's on. I'm like, okay.
Man. Yeah, I guess yeah. I mean, does he usually go in sequence? Like, do you see a pattern? Then you can anticipate, like, okay, maybe he's gonna go over this. I would probably just like read ahead or like do some.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. He assigns like 20 pages of reading and then the homework, and I'm like, okay.
The book isn't bad actually. Like I haven't really when I learned Python, like C++, Python, all this Java, I didn't learn it from a book because like I felt a professor felt like it's such like one of those that if you publish a book it's gonna get outdated already, so he would just do his own. But this book is actually pretty good if you like allow their problem sets. If I was like pretty intrigued, like, oh wow, yeah, that's pretty challenging for new, like if you were to learn it the first time. So
yeah. See, I was recommended into this class by the science department.
Yeah.
And so when I got there the first day,
Yeah.
they were like, don't worry. He was like, don't worry. We're all beginners here. And then the second day,
We're all beginners
these
here.
kids were just like typing like absolute like wizards. And I was like,
Yeah.
I thought we were all like not understanding anything.
Yeah. No worries. I wouldn't like worry too much. It's like everyone's on their own level. But it seems like you mentioned that there's like 20 people there, right? That's really good.
Yeah, it's like 20 of us. And then, yeah, I think I'm the only junior, I think.
Oh, really?
The rest of them are
That's good. That's good.
seniors.
You know, as I said, like learning Java. If you learn Java, I think ahead of time, you know, have you seen other program languages out there?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Which ones though? Which ones?
I had a friend of mine who did, what's it called? Python.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And he was like explaining it to me over the summer.
Yeah, okay.
So that's what I thought I was gonna be learning.
Oh, that would have been nice. Yeah.
And then they were like, no. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Maybe you should have asked. Like, is there another professor that teaches the AP?
No, it's just him.
Just him. Oh man.
Yeah.
Did they do Python before, or maybe it's
I know that they said, okay, so it's AP Computer Science, and then next year I can take it's like Computer Science, like AB or something like that.
Okay.
And I think you have a choice.
Oh, which language?
If you want to continue Java or if you want to learn a new type of programming.
I see, but it's like a choice of Java is always there, but then you have another choice. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, if you learn Java, it's like C++. It's like one of the harder ones. So if you learn Java first, then Python, it's better than learning Python first, then Java.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah, because then at least you get like the technical stuff, and then you'll understand Python in a higher sense.
Right.
Yeah. It's not. What do you think though? Like the one thing that makes like languages hard is the syntax. All the like knowing what the variable is.
Yeah.
And then like how to define it, how to use like operators. They're all the same. Like it's just a different way of like it's like vocabulary, or in a language.
Right.
You just have to learn like the words
to
like communicate with the language.
Once I started writing it out and stuff, it was easier for me to understand what was going on.
Yeah, and then like what aren't you? That's really how I learned it too. Is like you can't really learn it by just reading that book,
Yeah.
Because then like it's different. Like coding is a very it's like one of those things where if you don't do it while you're like reading, that's what they always say. You have to like do it hands on. Because in that, it's like a muscle memory, and and you technically jump on the why you're doing things. Like for example, like this one, final. Like when you're wanting to do like a constant, like you put in final, and then you have to declare it, right? Like and then like there's just different ways. What do you think of like if you were looking at this? Because this is how usually my flow of code. What seems like confusing besides like because like how I made this algorithm, the new tense, that's just an algorithm. There's another way of doing it, but what about like just the flow? Like you do this int and then the variable and equals something. You want to make it a file. So, you want to, you have questions about that?
Yeah. Okay. So pretty much when you were like sending me all these things, after I started like putting them back into my Dr. Java.
Yeah.
I was understanding like the main kind of like skeleton outline of what was going on. Like, I understood like public class and then putting, what you named your file and then like public static void main string, whatever. All that stuff I understood after
that's
doing
always
it
there,
time.
But, like the public static void is something that you can always like, it's public class.
Right.
That's how you set up Java in essence.
Right.
There's like, and then like you're gonna catch on like, oh, okay, they're all pretty much common. Okay, so I'll just do that.
Right.
It's another level.
I did that, like, can I do this? Yes, I can. Okay. So like this.
Yeah.
Is pretty much this area, this whole like swap the ones and tens digits of the number. That's what's like is confusing me the most.
Okay.
And then scanner in and new scanner system dot. IN, that.
So for the scanner thing, so that's why I asked about the object. So in like object-oriented programming, this is a little advanced. I guess it's good if I just tell you it.
Yeah.
But when you're doing like learning classes, it's called a class because there's variables, there's functions, there's classes, there's packages, and there's modules.
Okay.
So like all of those are hierarchy. It's just a way for coders or programmers to like kind of like group things, you know?
Right.
Like that's really what it is. Like you have when you're creating for the first time, like for example, like 1 + 1, you know, and you want to get an answer there. That's hard code. Like that's just creating like a variable. Like, you're not even creating a variable. You're just wanting to get an answer. That's like the lowest one. And then if you wanted to store that somewhere, then you create a variable. And then now you can use that variable. You don't have to hard code everything, right? And then for programming, you really want to like make it as general as possible. In the beginning, it's always good to learn it like hard code, you know, like the way you want to, because you technically like it's just applying what is it, algebra in coding. But that's what it is. Like, you know, when you learn like arithmetic, and you make it general, which is algebra. That's what you're doing. But now you're making the computer do it. And then there's different ways. So you have these variables, right? And then these variables go into functions, another group, and then these functions go into classes, another group, and then into modules and then packages. The reason why you do this, just the why first, is so that you can modularize. So like you don't want to be like writing a code just the whole entire page is that code, because then there's so many different errors that can happen. Like, and if you group them, that you cannot limit like the access. So for example, if you define like different things here, you may not be able to you call that like an environment and then the namespace. So it's good for modularizing. So you can just give maybe like a portion of your code to someone, and then they can use that. So that's how you do it. But for classes, which is what the scanner is, so a class is a special type of hierarchy because like what you're trying to create with a class is like a blueprint, and then that blueprint creates these instances, and then so the class here is scanner. So and then the instance you're creating is this in equals new class of scanner, and then what ends up happening is that, so this class scanner, this is a type of class that allows the user, or allows the code to ask the user like a type of whatever they want to input. So in other programs languages, it's not like this, but in Java, this is how you create an instance of a class.
Right.
You have to import first. The reason why you're importing things, you know, up top, you always want to put it outside because once you're inside the class, it's kind of like your program.
Okay.
And then like when you import there, like you can't use it somewhere else. You want to be importing things that you can use throughout your entire program. That's why you put it outside the public class.
Okay.
But the reason why you're importing is they're you know, like when you're doing plus, minus, you know, divisions, those are the same, those are functions, right? Like it's like an operator, but it's like a built-in function. For the most part, with programs, they're not gonna build a program that has everything in it, right? Like it's just too much memory. So what is done is you import different programs, and then and then each individual one that you're importing, someone's working on that. So someone worked on scanner, but it's not built in Java. So that's how you have to. And then this is how you import it. This like you just import the keyword, like you type it, and then the name of like the module, which is Java utility scanner. Once you import it, you can use it anywhere in your program. So that class got imported in. It can be utilized, but the thing is, you imported it, but you didn't use it yet. So that's why we have this scanner in. The moment you do this scanner in, you're creating like a soldier in that factory, which is called a class.
Okay.
And then this soldier in is like, oh, it's new, and I want to create this scanner system in. This new scanner system in, it's just a syntax. Like there's really no way for me like, oh, why is it that way? But the theory there is just scanner in is an instance of the class scanner.
Okay.
And yeah, that's really what it is when you're talking about object programming. Okay. And then you're gonna see that a lot. So does that make sense for how you ask the user? Okay.
Yes, it does. I'm gonna put that there. Okay. Okay. So do you think that I should, in your opinion, do you think I should turn this question in as like the sort of like outline the way you coded it, or should I put in
what I would do is you know how my take on it is you always want to like follow someone. I mean, in essence, right? If you're doing this, you know, like everyone follows like someone from somewhere. Like
Yeah.
it's never there, but it would be good to customize it upon your own. Like the way I'm doing it is just the systematic. Like that's why I'm keeping it. You have your nameplate, and then you kind of explain each individual one. I would probably just like change some of like, you know, make it your own. What would you put as obtain an old integer? Like maybe create integer from coder, you know, and then
Yeah.
something like that, something that works with you. And over time, you're gonna create your own outline.
Yeah.
But as of right
Okay,
now,
so
it's like
I
it's
fixed
okay to do
one of
that.
the errors right now.
Okay.
Only one error, and then I fixed it. It was just a capitalization error. So this is pretty much free of errors, which is good.
Okay.
So okay, so if I wanted to put in like, let's say 15 as my integer,
Yeah. Like,
what?
why don't we work on that one? Like, actually, one way I could like edit this, maybe you can, if you want to do that, is
Yeah.
just not ask the user, make it static, not too dynamic. So like maybe you can just like put it, you know, this final x int, uh, just make it like int x equals a number, and you don't have to do the scanner at all.
Okay, so here.
Yeah, what you can do, like this is what I can do, and I'll explain it. Like you can just erase the import Java utility scanner, and then you can also delete scanner in and then system.out print line enter a whole number. Yeah,
So this whole thing I can delete.
you can delete that. Yeah,
Okay, and then can I delete this?
yeah, you can delete that because that one is just telling you what to do for the scanner.
And how about this one on the bottom?
We'll work on that one. So just
Okay.
leave that. We have to change it. We have to change that a bit.
Okay.
And then the import module up top, you can delete that too.
Import this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So what I would do here is you don't really need to make it final. It doesn't tell you that it, like for this case, it doesn't matter. So let's not make it a final. Let's just put int. You can delete final at the beginning. Yeah.
Okay.
And then so intx, that's how you declare it.
Got it.
So now I want to assign it, making it equal. Just make it a random number. It doesn't matter, 15, 20, whatever. And then try to suppress that one with a semicolon. Okay. And then, yeah, now let's see what happens.
Should I compile it?
Yeah. Let's see if it's 51. It should be. Try running it.
I did.
Yeah, so I don't like, is it done?
Yeah, it just said compilation completed.
Okay, try running it. Okay, there you go, it works.
There.
Yeah, that's pretty much like the static way of doing it. I really, because like I know, I always put like a general, you know, scatter just makes it. So now that we kind of did that edit, you technically know now, like, okay, why we did the scanner, right?
Right.
Yeah. So like, try to make it more primitive. Let's make it static. You could always like go up a notch, like go up a level. It's like, okay, let's make it dynamic by asking the user. So at least you see that difference. You know, you can compare. For this one, it doesn't matter. I think your professor was saying too, like, by the way, you don't have to really complete I think the problems as long as you have the general flow. I think it said that. Yeah, I was like, okay, that works. Okay.
So I can put this into my Google Doc.
Yeah, that should work.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's why, yeah, every time you have those, like, I would just jump, instead of like thinking about it, I would just jump into like Java and test it.
Got it. So this was 15, yes. Okay. So there's that.
Okay.
And then, okay. And 16 was, let me add this one. 16, okay. So this one,
Yeah, this is a complicated one, I remember, if I remember.
yeah. Okay, it was this one up here.
Okay. So like the way I, like before like really just going to the code, just reading this, I always like, what is it really asking you? Like, what is this wanting you to do?
Okay, so this has a value from 0 to 6 and represents day of the week. Okay. So it says, write an expression that calculates the day of the week for any given value of day.
In January, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's the main thing. You gotta write like a code that calculates the day of the week in January. So that's technically, you know how like when I read that, they sometimes call this a pseudocode. Like there's a term called pseudocode
Uh-huh.
where you just write like, after reading the prompt, you write the comments, and then
Right.
and that's how I started. I write like, the first line after public static void, I write the question.
Uh-huh. Right.
And then after that, I write like different steps. What's
Right.
what's the most logical first step, right? Day of the week, right?
Right.
And then the next one is like, okay, what is the actual date? That's like second step. And now I have day and date. What's the next one? Like the final one? It's like maybe an output. That's usually how I usually look at it or calculate.
Okay. Wait. Okay, so what you did here, let me just,
Okay.
I want to like put it in here. Okay, so what you did here, this.
Yeah. Okay.
Was that just something you wrote in?
Okay, so that's why this one, it could be done like an easy way. Like, you know how what we did on number 15?
Mm-hmm.
Number 15, you don't have to do a scanner. Wait,
Okay.
hold up. Yeah, actually, hold up. Let me think. Because like this is asking right next one that calculates the day of the week for any given. Yeah, you don't have to do a scanner.
Okay.
But then like in my mind, it seems like, because like what I did is I put a scanner and then I put kind of like a catch. Yeah. Because it tells you, have you guys talked about if else statements yet?
Yeah, we kind of touched on those last class.
Okay, because what ends up happening is that I'll tell you the theory first. So remember in 15, I asked the user for the number, right, the integer, and for this one, I'm asking the user for the day and then the date.
Okay.
So that's just the reason why I put the scanner there. Same exact thing. It's asking the user, but then I added something else so that usually this is like logical when you want to make it general, is if else statements. Checks, you put if else statements if you want to check if something is condition. Like for example, this is a perfect one, right? Because you have different choices, right?
Right.
For day of the week. And then this day of the week, it's hard to like put in the string. They call it a string instead of like a number.
Okay.
Because then you can't really do any math on it. That's why a lot of people when they do like days or whatever, or the days of the week, you represent them as numbers. So that's what they did here, but it's only a certain range from 0 to 6.
Right.
And then it's for you to think about it. It's like, oh, what if someone puts in a number that's not within that range, right?
Right.
So that's if that's like what if someone did that? Then that's like an if statement, right?
Got it.
So that's why I did that. Like that's usually how you think about these things. Like, oh, there's a range of the weeks. And then what if someone puts in like a 7 or like a negative number? Then I want to tell them that it's incorrect. Like this program doesn't allow for that.
Right.
And that's how you limit kind of like the user input. So for this one, You can technically just put in day of the week as like any number from 0 to 6. That's like the easy one. So
Okay.
day of week 1, instead of putting scanner or like day of this if statement, we can definitely
Okay.
do that. Yeah.
So should I delete this?
Yeah, you can delete those, yeah.
And then just put that. And then should I keep this? Yeah.
That one you can delete. I think that one kind of similar to what we did with the last one. Which one did we keep?
I want to check. Oh wait, it was just the same one. Open 15. We kept. Where did we delete? We took it out. We took out scanner.
Okay.
And we kept int x.
Yep. Yeah. Just the actual variable for it.
Yeah. So okay, so I can take this out.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
And then this.
We have to change that one now.
Would be. What would I write there?
Like the problem says like you can pick between 0 to 6, I think.
I can just like pick.
Yeah, we'll make it static, but just pick like any of those numbers.
4.
Okay.
And would I have to do this?
Yeah, and then the if statement is just pretty much you only need that if you had a scanner input.
Okay, so I can take this out.
Yeah. We'll talk more about the if statement later on when it's actually asking about it. This one it wasn't. I think this is just like okay, let's kind of like fill in some of the elements, preview what you could do with Java.
Right.
It's once you see its capabilities, it's really nice.
And this, like that. Okay. So this, could I change this too?
Yeah. So this one is the day, like I guess the date, 1 to 31, either one of those.
I'll put like 24.
Okay.
And then I can put like that.
Yeah. So like for the day one, let me see. I go back to the other one. Oh yeah, this one's something happened to this one. I think it's one of the braces.
Oh wait. We need to close 15. Okay, there.
Okay.
That was.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So for this one, just the strings. You have to take out the strings. The system outs.
So would I have to take this out?
Yeah, let's take those out. Yeah.
Okay.
Does the system.out print line, does that one is just a syntax, but that makes sense for what it does, what it's doing.
It says, oh.
Yeah. I always hate this one. Like they always want you to suppress everything.
And then this I can take out.
Yeah.
Oh. And error identifier expected. What do I do here?
I would just delete that one.
Yeah, okay. There we go. So could I run it?
For this one, it won't output you anything. I think it'll output the string right here. It will run, I think, yeah. But this one, we have to do like a calculation.
Okay, got it.
For the because you have the date, yeah, and then the date.
So I can put this into that question here.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So there's that, and then we have to do 20.
Okay. Did you want to finish this one though?
Yeah, I just wanna. Yeah.
Okay. What what would you do? Like I forget. So obtain. So they have the date. You have the day. What's
Yeah.
the next thing that you have to do?
Let me go back to the question. Okay. Given value of day. It calculates the day. Okay. Variable day has a value from 1 to, okay, we already did that. So I have to write an expression.
Yeah. There's like I think this is the bulk of it. Is calculate the day of the week
Yeah.
of that day.
Right.
I would probably you could test out different things, but one thing I like if you take a look at what I have,
Mhm.
what it does is it takes the date number,
Mhm.
and then it just minuses like obviously there's 7 days of the week, right?
Yeah.
So like that's why I did 7 minus day because if you did like it's 0 to 6, it'll minus that day plus 7, which is like it gives you that the actual day after you do that. It counts it from the beginning of the day. It's a like this thing you have to do a bunch of like how I figure it out. It's just like a bunch of trial and error.
Okay. So could I input like 4 or like 24 into day?
That should work. You should keep it that way, like because it's already it's
Okay.
already a variable. It's a variable, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, that's true. And then the output. Um,
Yeah, it's the way you figure it out. It does take a while though. For the next couple ones, just try to do the trial and error for the calculating.
right.
But this one should work.
Okay. Says 3 errors. Okay, errors, class interface. Yeah, that's expected.
The week, day, okay, and day. Oh, I see. Try to take out the because of this braces. It kind of the brace up top. There's two. Try to take out the system that out on obtain day of week incorrect day. Try to take that out and then the brace there, the brace after system dot exit.
Here.
The obtain day of the week.
Okay, oh yeah, here.
Yeah, take out those 3 lines from system dot out print line to the brace.
This one.
Yeah, that one and then the curly brace. That one, yeah. So the curly braces it suppresses it. It pretty much means like you're ending the program already.
Okay, so should we try it again? Let's see. Oh.
Okay, the int day equals 24. Try taking that out. The curly brace. Int day equals that last one. Yeah, try that one. Okay, let me see. Int day of week. Oh, let me see. Day of week 1. What is it saying? 2 errors. Int. Let me see this one. Day 4.
I fixed a capitalization error.
Take a look at this one. Day of week. Oh, I see. Is it just this one?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the day of week. There's something. Yeah.
There you
Oh, perfect.
go. Okay. So could this not be ran?
Well, try running it.
Or should I just input this into the Google Doc?
Try see what it does first. So like
Let's see.
what the output is.
Day
Oh,
of
I
the
did
week
it.
for January 24 is 6.
Day of the week. Okay, but there you go. That's what it says. Day
Yeah.
24 is 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good.
So I'm just not sure if he wants me to put in the whole coding that I did or if he just wanted the answer, because some people were putting in the answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then some people were putting in this.
What I would do is because then it is a it is a question, like it
Yeah.
tells. What I typically do is I would put in the code, like what you have here, you highlighted, and then the answer.
Okay, got it.
Both of them.
That's what I'll do.
So you're covering all your bases.
And then let me do it for 15 for 15 as well.
Okay.
So we have that too. Okay. And then we put answer.
Perfect.
I'm gonna put this.
Were you guys exams? Like, do you know if it's like you have to write a code? I'm thinking you do, yeah?
Yeah. All I know is that for our AP exam,
Yeah. How's that one?
he's gonna ask us to write like our code by hand.
Yeah, I did that with like a few of my coding programs. What I would do, the thing is like, is it computer based or is it like pencil?
Pencil.
Ah, shoot. So I also did that one. That one's actually harder.
We're excited for
Because
that.
you really have to, like, can you imagine like doing this, and then you have to train yourself though. It's like it's like a mindset because
Oh no.
yeah, of course you have the computer to rely on because it gives you the
Right.
error, right?
Exactly.
And then you can debug it as you go. But then writing it, there's no debugger, so you have to anticipate. So what I would suggest, because I did do this, is really understand the flow and then the errors that you get. Because then
Right.
your eyes are going to be your debugger.
Oh wait, now there's an error. Oh. Like that.
Good, yeah, that was good.
Okay. And then run. Okay, great. So that's the answer for that one. Great. Okay. So that's that. And then number 16. So then now there's number 20. Let me put that down.
This one I think is the tough one, yeah.
Yeah. But he did say which oh my god, I just completely exited out of that. He did say which kind of put me at ease.
Okay.
He was like, we were all like freaking out when he was talking to us. And he's like, well, if you like, to be honest with you guys, I've been doing this. Like, he'd been teaching the same class for 30 years, I think.
Oh my. Okay.
At Brentwood.
Yeah.
And he said that in the 30 years that he had taught,
yeah,
the last time someone like failed his class was like 20 years ago.
Okay, that makes sense.
I was like, okay, so that makes me not feel as scared.
So like, yeah, that doesn't matter. What the thing is, maybe it seems like the class is hard, but the way he grades it,
Yeah.
The way he grades it, it's not that bad.
Exactly.
So, but I would still worry about the AP exam.
Oh yeah, I'm very worried about the AP.
The way, like I said, I'll give this to you like at the outset, like it's always like that. Not only try to do these problems on Java, the program itself, but do it on paper, like every time, because then you don't want to get to like at the end. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to get to the end of like learning every single time. You're relying on Java,
right?
And then like, you have that like line, you have that like like that feature, but then at the same time, you want to be able to like at every single one, so it's easier for you to intake and memorize by doing each problem, maybe like one or two of them, the hardest ones, by hand. So do that like weekly, at least like by hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll start doing that then.
I think over time, and then you can always ask me like because that's when the syntax vocabulary really matters.
Right.
Yeah. I think they'll be lenient though, as long as you have the general flow, you'll be good.
This is yeah, that's mine is named. Okay, great.
Okay.
I'm just gonna input.
So this one, what is this one asking you?
Oh, I know which one this one was. Okay, yeah, this one.
Okay. there's different things that you can do, but what is the main thing? What's the objective?
Statements that display the remaining. What? I did not mean to do that. Delete. Okay. Fill in the blanks of the following statements that display the remaining waiting times in hours and minutes. So it's asking the remaining waiting times in hours and minutes. In like riding a bus or the departure time of a bus.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's really the objective. There's a lot to unpack because you know what, you have to minus the hours. That's the easy one. Minusing the hours is easy.
Okay.
Because it's not like going over like AM and PM. It's just PM.
Right.
But what about the minutes? The minutes is the one that messes you up because it could be 0, 0, right?
Yeah.
And then what is that? It's a negative. You have 0,
right.
11 minus what? Like 130.
Oh my god.
0, 0 minus 30. That's gonna be negative 30 minutes. Okay. So those are like, that's why I did these if else statements. Because then what if you have 0 for departure? And then how you figure that out is just really, it's like what can go wrong? It's always what can go wrong, and then let me figure out a solution for each one of them.
Okay.
And then the things that can go wrong is if the minutes go to 0, and then if they're negative, because for example, you had departure time as like less than the current time, right?
Right.
This is just an example. If it's both 30, that's okay. If it's departure is like 29 and then current is 30, that's gonna be -1, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't do that in here because this was the last one. I was really tired. What you have to do here for else if is add another line that's an else if that says if you have to compare if the departure in minutes minus current minute is less than 0, then you have to minus. I have to think, what do you have to do then for that one? You have to take out 1 hour, I think, right?
Yeah.
You have to take out the hour has to decrease 1. And what else do you have to do? I think you have to make the minutes positive or add 60 minus something else.
Yeah.
I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah.
It makes sense though, right? Like you have to think of those things.
For the most part, yes.
That's what makes coding like both. If you like doing that kind of stuff, it's good.
Yeah.
And then this else stuff is everything else. You know, if and else if doesn't work.
Okay, so
the one thing that messes with people is the curly braces. If you were writing this.
Yeah.
It's not that hard though. One thing with like if you do end up writing this, please do though. I really want you to like pass.
I will.
So like, if you look at this curly braces, the syntax is you always put it the first one for you to open that code. That's the main thing about curly braces. It's like a parentheses, right?
Right.
So every line you put in that open. In essence, it's open first, and then you close it when you end it. And then the one thing that I always do is I always line up my last curly brace that closes it to, if you look at it, it lines it up, right?
Yeah.
So do it the same way. Line it up where your first line of code starts. If that makes sense. So like each one of these lines up with like where it's supposed to be associated.
Right. Okay. Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, so this one's free of errors. Okay, so do you think I should keep these if statements in the code that I put in the Google Doc? Yeah.
The thing is this one is a little hard because you do have to have these ones. Like you can't just discount these ones.
Right.
But the one thing is your professor said, it seems like you don't have to finish it like fully because it's still missing one thing. I didn't account for like that one thing I told you. So you could just send this on, if he's like, oh okay, you missed one thing. I don't think he's that harsh, yeah?
No, he's not.
I mean, doing this.
He's harsh, like if you like share your screen, like okay, so last class, like he was like, okay, who thinks that their answer's right? And a couple people raised their hand, and he was like, okay, you. And then he was like sharing his screen and
Yeah.
hit so hard. And I was like, I I felt so bad. I was
Oh
like,
my goodness.
he was just completely like roasting his code. And I was like, oh, not me sharing my code. No.
Yeah. I mean, like at the end of the day, there is some merit into what he's saying, doing, like,
Yeah.
like his style. In the end,
Right.
like once you get super pro at it, you're gonna want to like, be proud, I guess, of your code.
Right. These people were like proud of what they wrote, and then he was just like, "This is not right." And then
Yeah. Even if, yeah, there's some people like that too. Even if it's wrong,
I was like, okay.
Yeah. I think it's yeah, like I would probably just like, lay low. If he calls on
Yeah.
you, then at least, but make sure that like it.
Right.
But yeah, for now, like since we're learning this, eventually you're gonna get super good at it. But yeah, like for now, it's not that bad. If there's things there, like I know, so you guys haven't at what point are you guys covering in class? So you haven't covered loops yet, right?
No.
And then did you touch on if else statements?
Here, I can tell you because we have I can tell you exactly what's like due on Wednesday, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
He was like, it was supposed to be a no homework weekend, and he just disregarded all of that.
Oh man. So bummed. Okay.
Wait, no, let me go to the actual thing. Okay. Wait, did you like take it out or something? It's chapter 5. Do 20.
Because when I saw that, I was like assignment 7 already. It's like, oh man, like this must be super hard, It's already in 7.
Okay. This is what it was. It was like optional, due later in the week. Okay, okay. So this is when the test is October 8th.
Okay.
But what's this?
Oh yeah, that's that guy.
That is, I think that was like an optional thing.
This is optional?
I'm very positive. Wait.
Okay. If it's optional, hopefully, like I already did it, but like if we go through it, maybe if he shows up with an exam question, you'll understand it.
Yeah. See, yeah, it said Tuesday. See, this is due for the other class tomorrow. Tomorrow. But our class is like ahead.
Yeah.
So we have to do everything.
Oh,
wow. Yeah. Okay, so
that's
yeah,
fine,
we don't have anything due for for Tuesday or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. I think that was it.
Yeah, I think what we have is doable. Like just doing all of it, I think is good. Like it's always good practice to just do all of it.
I can give I'll put assign 7.
Does he give you guys the solutions for these?
Well, he starts to, and then he goes on like a rampage that has nothing to do with the solutions, and then we just end up not getting that.
Oh, so he it's not like a PDF that.
No, he explains them in class.
That's not good because like it's code,
sidetracked, and then we don't know. We don't know the right answer.
Oh my goodness, those are pretty bad because then like I know professors like that or teachers like that. They get so excited about some particular topic while they're talking.
Yeah.
And then they just go on a tirade about like, oh, okay,
exactly.
This and that, and then. But like, what I would do is like probably like email him or talk to him after class. It's like, what is it? Because like, at the end of the day, like you really need to know the answer to that thing, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or maybe just email him like, can you please check my code?
Yeah. He usually does.
Yeah.
He looks at all of our stuff individually.
Yeah.
And he'll write some comments.
Oh, perfect. Okay, good. Yeah, that's good.
But he never really goes in depth because I remember like our second assignment, I knew for a fact like 2 of my questions weren't correct.
Yeah.
He said they were incorrect, but then didn't tell me why. And I was like,
yeah.
I guess this is a kind of like find it yourself situation.
Yeah. Like sometimes they're like that. But maybe if you prick them, like, okay, I did this revision. What do you think now? You know?
Right. Yeah, I'm
Because
gonna
yeah, at
try
the
to
end
do
of the day,
that.
you really need to get that right now. Because then
Yeah,
everything builds on it, and then.
exactly.
But
Okay,
like,
so
if I
this
think
all,
if you have so much time and then spend time on it,
yeah.
I could probably take a look at it for you. If there was that question that you said he didn't give you an answer to.
I'm trying to think. I think it was on this one. He's giving me an extension for this one as well, which I
Okay.
sent you the stuff for. I think he sent it back to me, but I was gonna look over that one today.
Okay.
It was like this question number
7. Okay.
7.
Okay.
Like I think I got it like decently right, but I didn't
Okay.
give like an explanation. Like I remember I did it, but then I didn't like put in my code for it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If you can send that to me, like just that, not like
Yes, I
picture.
will.
Yeah. And I'll definitely give you my solution for it. It's
Perfect.
one of it's just some professors are like that. You know, they
Yeah.
want you to find the answer and give it to you. There's merit in doing that, but for the exam, you really just need to get that A.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So then tomorrow, um, can we meet again at like because
Yeah.
my school ends at
Um. What time? What time tomorrow? At the same time? Same time?
tomorrow. I will. Let me see. Actually, I can tell you right now. Let me check my schedule.
Okay. Because like for today, actually, I have you down for 30 more minutes. If
Oh,
you're,
you do? Oh, okay. Then that's great.
that's
But
what I was wondering. I was like,
yeah. Well, I was like, wait. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. But anyways, for tomorrow, I end at 3:30.
okay, I'm very flexible, so we can
Okay.
do that. We can do what? Let me see. I'll tell you though. I'm not good at 2, and then I'm not good at 6 to 8. So between that is good for me.
Okay. So could you do 4?
Yeah, 4 to like same amount of time. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay. All right. Why don't we take a look? Let's take a look at the actual code. You remember that temperature one? I think.
Yes. Let me open that one right now. Oh.
So like, if you didn't, what I would do is like, you are doing it already. It's always different. It's like when you start off from scratch.
Yeah.
But I think you can a little bit, in essence, like you can probably do it now. I just wanna, yeah. If you're doing this one, so like for the next ones, try to spend some time in like maybe like an hour for each one, and then over time, you'll build
Why
that
is it
speed.
open like that? Okay, temperature. Where is that from? Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's like 4 of these ones. Okay, let's take a look at this one first.
Let me compile it real quick. See if yeah, there was one error here.
Okay, I'll ask you which one do you think it is? What do you think the error is?
Um. Oh,
Yep. Okay. There. Yeah.
there we go.
Perfect. All right. So for this one, what is this one asking you?
Was this a? I think it was just. That was just the problem that I sent you. That was like attached. Let me go look.
Yeah, I think this was like just one of the ones I think he made up. I don't know if it's.
Yeah, it was. Let me go grab it. Actually, let me
I think it's
find
the
it.
attached ones. I think this is
Okay.
the one you forgot to show me. One. This one was like, where is this?
Yeah, wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking
this is
on my
that one. Yeah.
picture I sent you. It was like a photo.
This wasn't
Yeah.
that bad though. It's just implementing the
Yeah,
equation.
wait. Was it the Celsius Fahrenheit one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Write a Java application that takes an integral Celsius temperature as input and converts it to its Fahrenheit equivalent.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it tells you integral Celsius. I don't. I've never heard that term before. Like, I would probably ignore that and just say like, okay, it's Celsius.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay, good. And then so pretty much in essence, this is just wanting you to convert it, right?
Yeah.
Celsius to Fahrenheit. This is what the question is. So easy, right? Like it's just the equation. Create some variables, put them in an equation, output, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I would just follow the same exact like flow: input, calc, output.
Okay. Yeah, and then it just gives you the formula, which is like Fahrenheit equals 9/5 Celsius plus 32. And that's right here.
Okay. Yeah, not that bad. This one didn't have that much. Like it's just pretty much. Do you know how to, declare a variable and then input it in an equation?
Right.
That's it.
Okay, so great. So that one was in this assignment, right? Yes, it was. Okay, great. So that's that. And then
Okay.
let me look at, where's the other one? Did I exit out of it? Okay, that's assignment 7. And then let me open the other assignment because I closed it on accident. Actually, while I'm at it, let me just turn this one in.
Okay.
Because it's like in a separate. Okay. Let me just, because this is the thing that's like already linked to. Gosh, is it not gonna?
So you don't have to put in the other ones in the same one?
No, you just have to pretty much do it in a separate, I don't know why he does it like this, but he wants us to do it in a separate Google Doc.
This
And then
is confusing. I would have just put it all in one.
Exactly. And then this
formats
Google
like
Doc, and then I have to turn it in
Yeah.
like this.
I see.
Okay, so I already turned it in. Oh, yes, turn it. And then sometimes I forget to turn it in, like to click turn in. Then it's like unsubmitted, and then he emails me. He's like, Isabella, you have to click the turn in button. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Well, that's good though that he emails you.
Yeah, no, he'll email me.
Oh yeah, you're screwed. I'm not gonna
like,
give
it's
you
not
shit.
there. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm sorry. See, he said
there's a lot of stuff, but okay.
down here, but it was because I didn't send in my other Google Doc because there's one right here.
Okay.
And I put it on a different Google Doc, and I forgot to turn in this one.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Every time you're doing that, because like a lot of these ones, yeah. If you get to I don't know if you heard of like GitHub, it's more complicated than this, or GitLab, whatever.
Really?
Yeah, because you're not only turning in this thing, your code. Not only you're coding your assignments, you have to code your submission.
Yeah. Oh no.
Just so at least there's a GUI.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is 14.
Okay.
Download that one. Okay, great. Let me put that over here. And then see, what page is this on? This was 125. Okay. Okay. Find a syntax error in the following code fragment.
Oh, this one. Okay. Yeah. What if you could technically? I mean, if you're doing a lot of if you already know like syntax for Java, you could tell which one it is. But let's take a look at the one I did. What I do usually is I just like type this in, and I try to like compile debug. Okay.
Right.
So okay, what do you think I did? Like, you know how like you have this dot. Like I was like, what is this? You know. So okay, that's one thing. It doesn't run if you have that, so I would remove that. And then the other thing is, when you run this one, if you take a look at this one, it's telling you like when it says swap the numbers, like it doesn't even initialize A and B, right? You don't have numbers for those, so maybe add those in there. So that's what I did. That's another thing. There's a bunch of things, and then like the next thing is, oh yeah, this is another thing. Maybe I'll talk about it because it's like one of those basic ones.
Mm-hmm.
When you're when you're declaring the variable type. Does that make sense? Like when you're declaring it, that means like you're not saying A equals like 2. It's just this is a double or an integer.
Mm-hmm.
So like I initialized it, right? I declared it as a double, A and B.
Right.
And then the temperature is an integer, right?
Yeah.
And you know the difference between those two?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you're doing this though, if you look at swap the numbers, the first line, temp equals without the int, temp equals A, right?
Okay.
Well, is there anything wrong with that one? Is there like there's something wrong with that? Like temp is like an integer, right?
Right.
And then you're assigning an integer a what?
A
A
letter?
double. A double.
Okay.
So like when you take a look at this, you always want to look at like you can't assign. There's somewhat of an error when you're doing like mix swap or like not matching like data types. Like
Right.
one way you can fix that because it's already initialized double or int. One way you could fix that is either change the temp to a double up top like manually,
Okay.
or you can cast the variable like that's like a temporary data type change, and that's what I did
Okay.
here. So what I did is, okay, I know temp is an integer, right? So why don't we
Right.
just make a an integer as well? And this is what you could do. That's what I did there, pretty much.
Okay. So I think for this one, he wanted us to just explain the syntax errors that we found.
Yeah, you can explain those
I
ones.
remember
Yeah.
asking about that, so I'm just gonna explain them. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so for 14, right? Keyboard sometimes won't, like, I'm clicking on X and then it like won't do it unless I click it like 3 times. So
Oh,
this it does that with X and with N, and I don't know why.
it's probably, let me think. Let me think. Are you using a mouse? Right.
No. I'm just
Okay.
on my MacBook Pro like laptop.
Because sometimes when I have like it usually doesn't do that because then only if you have something's plugged into it, there's like a delay. Like
Oh yeah. I mean I have it like I'm charging it right now.
okay, that's really weird though. Maybe you
Yeah,
gotta
it
get a new
happens sometimes.
one. No.
It's like I think it's a problem with the keyboard because the MacBook Pro has like um kind of like a lowered keyboard, so the keys
Yeah.
are only like popping out a little bit.
Yep. Yeah.
You really have to like press down on them.
It's kind of like similar to my I have a Lenovo. The keys for that looks like my Lenovo one. Like it doesn't
Yeah, I don't like
really
them.
like
I miss the
soft,
keys that like stick out of the the keyboard.
Yeah. I think I'm not so familiar with the Macs, but yeah, I guess there's another Mac that has that. But most of the time they're really maybe just a regular Mac book, not that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. Okay, wait. Should I just put one syntax error?
It says I would just for practice I would just put a lot. Like
Okay.
the syntax error there is a dot dot dot. That's
Yeah.
that one.
Dot dot dot. Um, comma.
And then like what's that called? Non-initialize A and B.
You should initialize.
Yeah, like the word is there. I put it in the comment. Initialized. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I'm pretty careful. Um. Okay.
That's good enough.
Yeah, it should be sufficient. Okay. Let's see what else. The next one was 11.
Okay.
Okay, then. Done. Okay.
Which
Let's
one
see
is
what
this
they
one?
that. 11. Okay, if double x has a negative value, write an expression that rounds x to the nearest integer.
This one, yeah. It's not as bad as like I think you can tackle this one like in a sense. It's just rounding, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But you have to create like you can either use there's a built-in math round, but I didn't do that one. Like like you have to create like an algorithm or so that's what I did here.
Let me look at yours. I'm gonna put this one into my Dr. Java. Is it gonna open down here again? No. Okay. Rename.
So you know how like if you were to test this like these codes by hand,
Um,
and just like instead of like using Java, what I would do is just create like a table. You know how like input output,
right.
and then that's how I would do it. Like you would have like X, and then the second like column would be kind of like what the math algorithm you're gonna write,
Right.
and then check the Y, you know, stuff like that. That's how I would do it, and then it's really a long one, obviously, but you could get used to it if you do more of the paper and pencil.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing it on paper just so that.
That is what you have to do though. Like in all honesty, like you have to really okay. There's X, and then you have to check yourself. Is it a double? I can't put like an integer, you know.
Okay, this is one error.
Oh yeah, this one, yeah.
I'm checking. No, that's. Am I just like blind? I have to. No, this doesn't matter.
Ah, you got this one. Like what's the assignment name?
No, it says assignment one. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there. I was like, what? I was looking at like the capitalization. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So, technically, if I wanted to, I could delete these explanations, right?
You could, yeah. You just put
If
in
I
your own
want.
thing.
I
Yeah.
don't want to because it's helping, but
Yeah, no,
if I can.
whatever. Like that's what I do. Like you know when I take actually what is it called? Once you get to like Python, you know how like how do you take notes? Do you take notes like hand or like do you have an iPad?
I used to use like an iPad with the pen,
Yeah, I do have that one. Yeah, like it's
but
really
I
take
usually
notes.
take notes by hand.
Okay. Yeah, either way, what I'm saying is like if for me like when I'm doing like coding like for a coding class, I usually take notes using like this with my comments.
Okay.
And then like if you get to Python, what's nice about it is, you know, you probably heard of like HTML, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Python has the ability to write like text HTML.
Okay.
So like you can pretty much do your lecture there or you can do your notes there. And then at the same time your code to do an example.
Nice.
I know it's super nice. This one is not it's a little rigid if you do it in Java because then it's a lot of you know, it's not really like that. It's only for code.
Right.
But that's why I like Python. Everyone loves Python.
I know. I thought I was gonna be learning Python, and then I got there, and they're like, "Here's Java," and I was like,
Screw that. Why? Can we take a vote? Can we take a vote?
I was like, can we please change? I don't want this.
Yeah.
But
It's all good.
like, a neighbor of mine, she does she does Python.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, like if you need any help, let me know." I was like, "We're doing Java." She goes, "Oh, I can't help with that. I couldn't even understand that." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Got it."
You'll be in a better place once you master Java.
But if this is like will help me understand Python easier,
Yes. Yeah.
then I'd rather just get this over with then.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, for this one, I would probably just take your time and figure out like the algorithm starts out with double and then the x equals x. It just takes in, you know, the double x is just my input.
Okay.
And then it takes that input, divides it by -1.
Okay.
And then if you're, you know, if your modulo equals, that's the modulo, the remainder equals -0.5.
Mm-hmm.
Then it runs this. It takes your number and then minuses 1/2, which makes sense because this only works with these numbers though.
Okay. So this wait. Okay.
Right? Like
what was throwing me off. This is the division sign.
That's a modulo. So modulo is you take that number, you divide it by the thing on the right of it, and if you get a remainder, then that's the value. If it's like 27 divided by 9, it's perfect, right?
Right.
There's no remainder. It's 0. That will give you 0. The reason why we're doing this, if you think about it, you're dividing it by negative. You know why?
No.
Because it's a negative number, right?
Okay.
And then you're dividing it by 1, because like you know that like when you're dividing 2.5 by 1, you're gonna get what's the number? It's gonna be remainder what?
Say that one more time.
Try to divide 2.5 by 1. What's your remainder?
5.5.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so you want it to be 0.5 so that you enter into this if statement. And
Okay.
what is this if statement doing? It's minusing the 1/2, right?
Yeah.
And then so that's what you want. You want it to round what?
I'm not sure.
Round down, right? You want it to
Okay.
round down. Because it's negative 2.5 minus 0.5 is 3, negative 3.
Right. Okay.
What if you put in negative 1.5? What happens? What's the output of negative 1.5 divided by negative 1?
Negative 1.5 divided by negative 1. That would be 0.5 again. Right?
Yeah, but then negative 0.5.
Right.
Okay, and then so you put in negative 1.5 minus 0.5. It's negative 2, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's like really just a trial and error. Like,
Okay.
as long as you know what the modulo, a lot of these will require a modulo, as you've seen it, right? Like, but you know what a modulo does now. Once you divide something, whatever the remainder is, and if you want to make it negative, you just divide negative. You put negative 1 after the modulo, or negative whatever number you want to divide.
Okay.
After like maybe a few examples of those, you're most likely gonna get it. Just try to like write it on paper and see if you understand the algorithm.
Okay. So if I wanted to, I just want to see what this would look like if I take this out. But should I still keep a space between these two, or could I do this?
White space doesn't matter. That's just me organizing it.
Okay. And then if I took this out, that's what it would look like.
Yeah, that's like bare bones. Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much what it is.
Okay, got it. So should I input this into number 11?
Yeah, because it says write an expression.
Right.
You might as well just write a code.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna put this here then. Okay, got it.
Yeah, please do practice that though. Like
I will.
A lot of the it's not hard to do the code here.
Right.
But understanding the algorithm, that's what everyone messes up.
Yeah.
The algorithm is where everyone messes up. You have to like, it's like, how do you just figure out the algorithm? You don't. You just have to test it.
Right.
You take one route. Okay, it's like a logical route, and then test the inputs and see what you get, and you build on that. It's like, okay, let me put something in there. Negative this guy divided by this guy.
Okay, I'll do that definitely then.
Okay.
I'll start doing that. Okay, and then 10.
Okay, let's look at this one.
Let's look at, let me move this here. Oh my gosh, my computer is a mess. Okay, 10, back here. Okay. Find and fix a bug in the following statements.
This is a tough one. Let's try to like break it down.
Okay.
So do you remember? It's like a theory one. It's a theory one. It seems like it works, right? So the thing that how I wrote this is the very first, like it says find and fix a bug in the following statements. Try running this and see what happens to it. I'll explain it once it runs.
This?
Yeah, run the whole thing, and then I want to see. There should be 3 lines of output.
Oh, yes. Wait. Save. Okay.
All right, 3 lines. So first one, it says the travel distance is 0.0, right? Where is that? Where is that line? It's okay. And then this 0.0, where is that? That next one, right?
Yeah, this one.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Why is it 0.0? Or why is it 0? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, so that you put final double G right here, which was 16.0.
Does it? Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
Why is it
No,
0?
no, 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 no.
It doesn't
No,
make sense, right? Nothing
no,
is 0 there.
no.
So that's why, yeah, like if you do that, it's like, and then you test it in Java, it's like, oh, something's wrong.
Yeah, no, that's wrong.
Yeah. So
Not correct.
this is why, like, oh, it seems like it makes sense, but then here's why it doesn't make sense. So you know how, like, remember the thing where we said that you have to initialize it, and then at the same time, you have to make it a double, and that
Right.
it's kind of similar to this one.
Okay.
The reason why is you're saying here that it's a final double.
Okay.
So what ends up happening when you put in final double G equals 16, that right there is like, it messes with it. It's not the same as double T.
Okay.
Because like final double G is like a constant.
Okay.
What we're trying to do here is when you're trying to operate with something, it has to be the same.
So would I have to take out final?
No, like and then you know how you had like one. Let me go back. Let me go back. Let me rephrase that. You know how like you have this 1 and 2, like
right? That's.
So 1 and 2, that looks like an integer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's two ways of fixing this. Either you manually do it, which is what I did on the last one. Like I said, another way to fix the output is to manually make integers as doubles.
Okay.
So the difference between an integer and a double is it has like zeros right at the end.
Right.
Yeah. So that's one. The other way is, why don't we just make them doubles? Because G and T are both doubles.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
Does that make sense? Because like
yes,
both of
it does.
Yeah. And that's why when it's an integer acting on a double, it's an equation that's a combination of doubles and integers. It gives you something weird. It's a 0.
Okay. So like this.
Like that. Do you know what you just did there? That's casting.
Yes.
Okay.
I understood that.
That's good. Okay. That's probably like the smartest way of doing it, because you're keeping the 1 and 2, but you're at that time at this line you're temporarily changing it.
Okay.
So yeah, so like if you see something like that, just like try to look at, am I combining integers and doubles? Another way would be to make the GT integers and then to leave the 1 and 2. That's another way.
Okay.
But yeah, like if you were to see this problem again, just look at like the numbers and then try to not mismatch integers and doubles.
Okay. Got it. So could I put this, like, should I put all of this into the Google Doc?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Okay. So I'm going to put.
As long as you understand it.
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
Okay. This thing is like this. Oh, I can move it. I didn't know that. Okay. So 11. This was number 10.
Okay.
Perfect.
Nice. We're almost done with this one. Do you want to cover the other one still?
Which one?
Are we done? Actually, I don't know how many we covered.
Yeah, that was all the stuff that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty fast.
Yeah.
I didn't think because like honestly, I expected more questions.
No, I kind of once the way you're explaining this makes more sense.
Really? Like, that's good. That's good. That's good
like
feedback.
I needed someone to like explain it to me in like more in depth. Like the way he explains it is very like jackal.
Is it technical? Oh, the jackal. Okay.
Yeah.
I know
So
what you mean.
he doesn't give me like examples and stuff. So I'm just kind of sitting there like,
what the hell?
Okay. I'm just gonna nod my head and pretend I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. He should give you guys he should ask feedback from the students. But the thing is, the majority, that's like it's like the majority thing, you know.
Yeah, but I would love to meet tomorrow just so I can go over like the basics, because I have like a big I can actually send these to you.
Which one? What is that
I
one?
have
Yeah, that'd be
like
great.
the notes of the stuff that we've already gone over.
Oh yes, yes, yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah. I can share these with you.
Oh, okay. It's like
Yeah.
the background. Okay.
My computers. Here we go. Okay.
Okay. So the theoretical stuff, is it just a theory or is there more in it?
Okay, so I have all of this, and then this was the new stuff that we went over, chapter 3 and chapter 5. But
Yeah.
outside of class, he was like, read and then answer this, like, the notes outline. But he gave us until like next week, so I was gonna go over the textbook like this weekend and finish these.
Okay. So you,
Right.
you want me to like maybe explain these things?
Yes,
Okay, I can do that.
that
Yeah,
would be good.
it'll be very conceptual. I think that's a good thing. Those are the whys.
Yeah,
Knowing how to code, you know how to code by how, and then it's always good. This is what I always do with my thing is to teach people like the why. And then
right,
sometimes the why, if you can't bridge the why and the how, that's like deadly.
right.
Like once you do that, you're gonna become like this really pro programmer.
Got
It's
it.
like when you can like inform yourself, oh, why am I doing this? And then
Right.
how I'm doing this is because why. It pretty much it's a feedback loop.
Okay.
And then like you know how you anticipate. I'll teach you more about this more, but like once we get to like that point where, oh, how do you write your own code from scratch? I would love for you to do that.
Yeah, me too.
And then one thing that will help is yeah, just try if you have time today. Because that was a lot of stuff, that was a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. The code, right? Try writing that by hand and then changing like what if it asked me another number?
Okay.
That's how I would prepare for the test too.
Okay, got it. So I'll do that with a couple of them then.
Okay, and then like yeah, if you have other questions about code, just yeah, send that my way. I love doing these things.
Got it.
Java and then like VBA. You're learning Java for the first time.
Right.
Don't be so bummed with it. I know it's like it's better to start out hard and then go
Right.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly, I'd rather start out hard.
yeah.
So
Cool. All right. Thank you so much. And then yeah, I'll see you
thank you.
tomorrow at same. No, wait. What time did you want to do it? 4, you said?
4 o'clock.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll book that for 4 to like 5:30.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mel. Nice to meet
Okay,
you.
see you tomorrow. Bye.